Hello and welcome to Uniko's 12 Days of Christmas Inspiration and Giveaways, Day 6. I can't quite believe that we are already halfway through this video series. I'm glad you're enjoying it and watching the videos. I appreciate all the comments. I'm tallying up those who are answering the question to be entered in the giveaway. So keep watching to find out what the giveaway is and how to enter. Anyway, today I thought I would make a fun shaker card. I haven't made one like this before, so this was a first attempt and I am quite pleased at how it has turned out. As you can see, I've used one of our newer stencils, which is the Ink and Flip Christmas Star. It's a new concept. If you haven't watched any of the other videos, I did do an introduction to this stencil when it first came out, and I've used one of our Christmassy sentiments from Christmas Wishes, and it's just a fun card and a different way to create a shaker card. I originally planned on doing the standard style shaker card where you have a window and the acetate, but I haven't got any acetate at the minute, so this was the next best thing. And it's a good way of using any packaging and things that like your stamps come in. I store my stamps in a different format now. I actually have these acetate pockets that I keep my stamps in, so I take them out of the original packaging that they come in, but keep it because you can create these fun shaker cards. Anyway, so I'll just move that out of the way while we get started. So I went ahead and I cut a piece of card that is 9.5 by 13 centimeters, and I've just lightly used a pencil to mark where the centers are along the edges. This just helps center everything. I'm using the temporary adhesive there just to secure it in place on my work desk. I like a nice grid system. It does help lining things up. So this is the Ink and Flip stencil. As you can see, it doesn't look like much when it first comes. It's just these odd geometric shapes. On my stencil, I actually lined up these inside corners here and found the center, and I have used a Sharpie just to centralize. You don't have to centralize your star. You can do it anywhere you like on your card. But I think for this shaker card it does, and this size card, centralizing it just makes it look nice and even and equal. And I'm just using this Scotch tape here just to hold down my stencil while we ink. So I'm just lining up these marks that I've done on the stencil with the cross point on my grid paper, just to get it as central as I can, and then I'm just taping it down. So I've gone for pinks, purples and a dark blue today, and I've actually decided still to use dye ink rather than Distress Oxides, even though I'm ink blending. It's my go-to. So I've got a selection of alt new inks here from various collections. I've got Razzleberry, Deep Iris, Ultraviolet and Agurate, if that's how you say it. So I'm starting off with the pink here. I'm just going to quickly blend my colours. I always start onto the stencil and then blend onto my card to try and avoid getting those lines and sharp marks that you don't want, unless you're going for that style of look. So in my first card, I actually did all 4 colours. I started with the pink, the deep iris, then I had the ultraviolet here, and then the agate here. But obviously I tried to blend the colours, but I sort of got all colours one area and all colours this area. So I'm going to alternate it a little bit for this card and have the colours sort of opposite each other. Sometimes it's just to playing about to see what you like. I still like the first card. I think it turned out lovely. But for this one, I want to have the colours opposite each other. So you'll see what I mean when I flip the stencil. So I'm using the raspberry in opposing corners, and then I'm going to go in with the deep iris in the other 2 corners, and then we're going to clean the stencil and we're going to flip it over. So how is everyone getting on with their Christmas cards? Have you still not started, or are you cracking on quite nicely with these inspiration videos? I know that I seem to be building up a nice collection now, which is good. It means that I'll be able to spend a bit more time in the lead up to Christmas with my twin boys and my husband, and hopefully do a few activities, and everything won't be as much of a rush in the lead up in them last few weeks, where usually I'm trying to rush and finish cards and get them out before last posting dates and whatnot. So one of my question for the giveaway today is, do you have a family tradition, or it doesn't have to be a family tradition, or a tradition that you do every Christmas? I'd love to know. I'm trying to think of what traditions we have. Obviously, since I had the boys, we have the tradition of leaving cookies and a carrot and a drink and things out for Santa and Rudolph. Even though my boys are 9 this year, I think they will still want to do that. They still on that borderline of not quite wanting to jinx it in case Santa is real. Obviously, they do know that there are fake Santas out there, but they still have that little belief in the magic, which I absolutely love. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a little cough. I'm still suffering, as you can tell, from this cough and cold, which is hindering me a little bit when it comes to talking. So here we are, nearly finished this first layer. I like to try and get as nice smooth a colour as I can with these dye inks. I did a sample with, I had a little test earlier with some distress oxides, and I loved them, but the colours weren't quite right for me. I am still building up my colour selection when it comes to distress oxides. So that's why I decided to use dye inks. But it's something that I always tell customers, that you don't really need anything special. You don't have to go out and buy specialist inks for ink blending. You can use whatever you have on hand. Just some inks obviously blend better than others. Dye inks probably tend to sit on top of each other rather than blend, rather than like over distress oxides that blend a little bit easily together. So here I'm just cleaning my stencil a little bit, just getting off the excess ink, and I'm just going to sandwich it between my paper here just to make sure that it's dry, because we don't want any sort of splat marks yet. Those, I'm getting into being a little bit more free with the splats and things. I'm quite enjoying that. So this is how I had the stencil, and then you're going to literally flip it over. That's where the concept comes from. And then you can see in the middle here where the star is being formed. So I can just about see my marks on my stencil where the middle is. But as I say, if you don't get it quite centralized, your star is just going to be a little different, which there's no harm in that. You can make a longer point and a shorter point at the top and the bottom and side to side. It's all about being creative. So yeah, I was talking about traditions, Christmas traditions. Another thing I always do is I always make our Christmas cake, and we don't like fruit cake in here in this house, so it's always a nice chocolate cake that's decorated, fun. The boys have Christmas Eve boxes, but to be honest, they're never that fussed over anything that I've put inside. They get new pajamas to wear, some chocolate, sometimes a book. If it's a book that they are keen on, they will read it. If not, it's usually back to their gaming once they have their Christmas Eve box, but it does entertain them a little bit. But Christmas Eve is their granddad's birthday, so we always have a birthday celebration on Christmas Eve as well. But we've started, probably not so much when they were younger, because they always had like parties and whatnot. We try and have a family outing. This year we are going to Beamish, which in all the years I have been up north, I have never been to Beamish. So to go at Christmas time is quite special, I think. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I want to know what your Christmas traditions are. Spark me some ideas. It's always fun to know what others do. I love hearing about family. So yeah, drop your family tradition in the comment. And today's giveaway, this week's giveaway, is the Ink and Flip star, and I will throw in the Christmas wishes stamp set as well. Excuse me. If you already have either of these, sorry, these prizes, please don't worry. If you end up being the winner, just let me know and I will give you an alternative option. The same value prize, so there is no worry. Please just enter the giveaway, and yeah, I'd love to know your traditions this week. So here I've done the ultraviolet, and I'm just going in with the last colour, which is the agate. And I'm a little pleased with this, how this is turning out. All will be revealed once I lift the stencil off. And then we get to making the shaker part of this card. And I think doing it this way, it's a little less bulky than if you have the foam adhesive and the window, the die cut window or the hand cut window. I will do the other idea at some point that I had using this stencil to create a shaker card. So here I'm just going to lift off the stencil, and there is the star revealed. And it does look pretty in the opposing colours. But it's just fun, isn't it, to experiment and see how things turn out. I am going to use the same sentiment from Christmas Wishes. It fits nicely inside the star, and I'm just using VersaFine Clair. I think I did remember seeing a comment that I haven't replied to yet. I'm a bit behind on replying to comments. Someone asked why I use VersaFine Clair over the normal VersaFine Oinks Black, and the reason I switched was because when the VersaFine Clair came out, they said it had the same detailing as this one, the Oinks. So you could get the same detail when it came to stamping and sentiments and things. But this one was more of a pigment ink that it dries. Even though this one's a pigment ink as well, this one was suitable for watercolours and alcohol markers. And it does dry, for me, it does dry a little bit quicker. And when I've stamped and I leave something and then I come to colour, I can colour with my watercolours or my alcohol inks and it doesn't bleed. And that was the main reason I switched over to this one. I do use the other VersaFine occasionally, but as I say, this one tends to be my go-to reach for, just purely for that reason. If at the last minute I decide to use alcohol markers. I don't watercolour a huge amount, but I have started to add splatters and things, as you've seen. If you saw my blog post yesterday, I did some colourful watercolour splats. So now what I am doing, I am cutting some double-sided tape to put along the edges here of my card, so we can secure the acetate packaging. I can see where I've put it. Oh, it's dropped on the floor. Apologies for having the light on. I'm having to use my light from Craft Lighting Official a lot. Check them out. They are a wonderful company. It's quite gloomy outside today. It's foggy. So the light in my studio isn't great. So I'm just making sure that some of these bits, it's going to be fully secured anyway to your card base, but I'm just filling in a couple of the gaps here. So then you take your acetate packaging. So if you can imagine, it's really thin. It's a lot thinner than your normal acetate, and you're going to lay your card face down on the acetate, and you're going to create a pocket for you to pour in your shaker mix. And I think what I liked about this is I've seen people using glitters and all different types of sparkles to go inside, you know. I think, yeah, it just drew my attention with it being a full-sized shaker card as well. As you can see on my original, I did mount it onto a piece of card with a border, but you could, if you wanted to, not do that. You could do it full size. There are, I suppose, no rules when it comes to how you do it. So, and then if you've got it centralized, you're just gonna fold up the packaging here on 3 of the sides to create your pocket to pour in your shaker mix, like so. So here I've got a little opening. I've got this cute little tub here. I couldn't resist them, from Newton's Nook, the little accent trays. And I've got a few different sparkly and shaker mixes from Little Things by Lucy's Cards. I'm not sure if these are still in stock. I've had them for quite some time. I find sequins and things last me quite some time because I make shaker cards, but not loads of them. So I'm just creating my own mix here in this little tub, which then I will pour in. This is some silver glass from Stampin' Up. I've had absolutely years. As you can see, I never throw anything away. And then I'm just gonna pour it all inside. And maybe a little bit more glass, just to fill it out just a little bit more. Sorry about my voice, keep going up and down. And then you're gonna just peel off the last little bit to secure your shaker elements inside. And there we have our shaker cards, some of the sequins. There you go. Just get them loose a little bit. And there you have your shaker. So I'm just going to tidy up this a little bit now. I'm just going to secure these corners down and then put some more double-sided tape on, so I can then secure it to my card. So I'm just folding these over a little bit. Obviously it adds a little bit of bulk with the sequins and things inside. But if you chose the flat sequins, for example, and glitters, it wouldn't be as bulky. But yeah, it's nice. I think it's nice to make a shaker card or two for Christmas. And then I'm just going to go in and add the double-sided tape around the edges. So I hope you're enjoying the prizes that I am offering. I'm trying to offer the products that I'm using, and I'm trying to use stuff that we've currently got in stock, but I do know I have a couple of videos planned where the stamps are out of stock at the moment, unfortunately. But I'm just trying to show a variety of Uniko's products in these videos, and hopefully giving you some more ideas if you actually own them, because that's the name of the game. It's all about offering inspiration as well as the giveaway. As I say, I'm a little bit behind on catching up on comments. I will do that today. Don't feel that I have forgotten you, or I don't appreciate your comments, because I do. Thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far. I'd love it if you could share it with your crafty friends to get more followers. That would be lovely. But yes, so there's the shaker. So I've peeled off all the double-sided tape on the back, even the little bits that were in the corner, and I have this top folding card base that I made prior to coming on the video, and I am just gonna secure it down, and there we have it. There is the shaker card using leftover acetate from packaging. Just another way of using up them supplies. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to add a comment to any of the social media, again, that I share this card on. I am taking note of people who are commenting across the social media, so you'll be given an extra entries into the giveaway. I do appreciate each and every comment, and I will see you next week for the next installment. So thank you very much. See you soon.